What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing some more reviews. As many of you know, that I've kind of been not making videos the last week. Me and my wife had a baby, so I've been a little busy. So now I'm trying to play catch up on my last week's pull list to try and make way for my this week's pull list videos that I'm already behind on. So we're going to do like a multi-review, just hot take kind of video. So we're doing Moon Knight, number 193, Batman Beyond, number 18, and X-Men Blue, number 24. So I will put the time codes of each one down in the comments, but I'm going to try and not spend too much time on any one review. I kind of want this to just be a brief catch-up. And again, these were kind of the remnants of my last week's pull. None of them really jumped out as a must read or anything. I think these are they're good. They're good books, but they especially this week, it was just all right. So we're gonna go literally from what I thought was the worst to the best, and I have them lined up. So let's start with Moon Knight, number 193. See this guy? His power, this is Ra, and his power is to light hot garbage on fire. And that's what this book is. It is hot, steamy piles of garbage. As a summary, leading up to this, this Ra is a crazy person who, up until he was in this insane asylum where a nurse pretty much told him about Moon Knight, did he realize that he had a connection to the sun god Ra, and which allowed him to set fire to people and things and whatnot. So he has kidnapped Moon Knight and brought him to this island civilization, which he has started to build, and now wants to destroy him. This is some of the laziest writing, to the point where, and the art to me is okay. There are some really bad parts, but it's not bad. It's lazy art. Like, you get some just flat tones, but I mean, Mark looks good. His Tumblr daughter looks like a piece of trash. But so he's set to fight Ra, and this is where it gets ridiculous. So Ra is literally beating the crap out of him, setting him on fire, and there's like no dialogue. It's just fight scene and these big panels. There's no dynamic to it. So Mark literally is getting the crap kicked out of him, where in his head, a couple of his other personalities are trying to talk with Khonshu, the moon god, to see what they can do. And literally, the how they fix, like how they're going to beat Ra, the sun god, who can literally create fire. Khonshu pretty much is like, he has powers the way that, make-believe rainbows have, magic effects on kittens and stuff. It's like, it's the way, he has the same type of power that, like, a cheeseburger, is really greasy and good and in your tummy sometimes. It's like, literally just some really awfully written bullshit. And so, they somehow then get to... I can't, and just... Beatrice, who's his daughter, his Tumblr daughter, like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't mean to be laughing this much, but like his personalities are like, ooh, we love her. So then they use this newfound, like, belief in how crazy they are. Now, we have the power of crazy, which just means, it's like, do you just have, like, we're too crazy to realize, like, how to feel pain, but in actually fighting back, it makes Ra, like, lose his power? I don't know. Again, Max Bemis is a human piece of garbage, and that's what he writes, is hot piles of garbage. Done. All right, next. Batman Beyond, number 18. I've really been liking this series. This storyline has been really good, but to me, this issue falls critically flat, where it should have been way better. First off, DC does this a lot of times. They're a little more prone to it than Marvel, but they put a spoiler or a plot twist or whatever directly on the cover. Anybody who's been reading Batman Beyond knows that they've really been leading Terry's brother, Matt, into the Robin role. This is supposed to be the issue that, was going to happen, but doesn't need to be on the cover. Give me a little twist or something in the end. So he's fighting this Payback. They're trying to he's an older villain, this guy Kenny, this kid whose dad, ignored him, so he kind of set fire to Gotham or something. But the whole lesson is there's a kind of a really weak reveal in who Payback actually is. And of course you get the double page Bendis spread. But then again, since DC already ruined it on the front, you get a really weak reveal of Robin, Matt kind of being Robin. Again, I still like the series. I think it's good. But to me, this issue fell flat. I would have liked... I wish this cover was something else. I wish there was a stronger villain reveal. But yeah, that's that. Done. All right. Next. X-Men Blue 24. This series has surprised me. I started picking it up after the Poison X series or storyline, and it's very well written, but there's just so much going on. For me, jumping in so late in the game, there's so much going on that I had, it's like there's imagine an hour-long TV show. It's like Game of Thrones. You're getting 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here. There's 5 different stories going on, and they all have a part in the big story. But then on the next issue, you have to remember the first 15 minutes here to connect to another 15 minutes into the next issue. And that's kind of what you get. So the main members are all missing. They're still in space with Venom and all that, which I picked up Venomized #1, which I hope will resolve that. Also, maybe something in the, I think it's Venom 163 that also came out this week. But we'll see. So you get this really, again, for how much plot is going on, you get this really weak catch-up. With Jean Grey, Cyclops, Angel, Beast, Iceman, Off-World, Magneto has rallied the remaining X-Men against his many enemies. Jimmy Hudson and Bloodstorm follow a lead in the Mojave Desert, while Magneto confronts Sebastian Shaw at the Hellfire Club in London. Meanwhile, back at Madripoor headquarters, Polaris has been possessed by a persona of malice. So, what the hell is going on? That gives me nothing. It gives me a really brief catch up, but it's what is the lead? What's Malice doing? Why did Magneto go to see Sebastian Shaw? All of that unanswered. You do get some really cool kind of art. I do like Shaw. So essentially, from what I've gathered, is kind of this new wave of the Brotherhood of Mutants is emerging. There is this new, I don't know what it is, because again, I'm still kind of trying to get into this, but it's called Mothervine, and apparently it allows a next level of mutation, which increases a mutant's ability. Magneto wants to kind of stop that. He's kind of taking over the Charles Xavier role. And again, I'm not sure if this is again, because I haven't been reading X-Men Blue, if this is a real Magneto, if he's from another dimension of the time, kind of like the other X-Men. But he seems to be gathering X-Men from different times and places throughout the history, especially with the Bloodstorm and stuff like that. So he's fighting Shaw, who now his ability is so high that he can absorb the kinetic energy of like dust moving through the air, which allows him to harness it and then expel it out. Meanwhile, in the desert, there's this new mutant. I don't know, who he is, Zorn, and what role he plays. But Jimmy Hudson, who I guess is Wolverine's kid from another timeline. I don't know. But he's pretty cool looking. But him and Bloodstorm, who's like a vampire version of Storm from another universe, go to save him. They get out of there. Then there's this whole plot with like Polaris where I kind of like rolled my eyes at this. So she's possessed by Malice and goes on this like kind of murder rampage. But then, hang on, I want to skip. Again, it's all broken up. So she gets to killing everyone, well, Malice does, in Polaris's body, but then Polaris kind of like sneaks into Malice's head and is like, no, like, I've been used before, and I promised myself it would never happen again. And she gets out, and she frees herself, but it's like, I did it, I'm free. Yeah, you're free, but you also still killed, like, everybody around you. You were still used, you know. And then, of course, you kind of have, like, the plot is so like, here's something. It's good. It's well written. Cullen Bunn is doing a really good job, and it makes me want to read more. But I'm going to have to read more to really get invested in what is going on in this story. I'd recommend it. Pick it up. It does feel like a good classic style X-Men book. I just wish there was more cohesion between each individual storyline that was happening. But yeah, so that's my hot take of my pull list from last week. I'll try and get some more reviews of my pull list for this week up, and cool. But yeah, subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.